All right, what's up, guys? So I'm sorry it took me a while to get, as promised, my live prediction video, but I was actually, so I'm in the little media area right now. This is kind of, you can't see, it's way back there. I didn't want to talk too loud and annoy everybody, but that's Radio Row back there. And, you know, we're just hanging out here because inside the actual stadium right now, they got music playing. If I do this video inside, YouTube will hit me for a copyright, even though I'm not biting no one's music. Yeah, James, no bass. Yeah, exactly. So I'm in here where it's quiet. I'm away from everybody. No music playing. YouTube can't hit me with a copyright. The weigh-in videos I posted earlier, they hit me with copyright infringement, which is crazy because, you know, it's just music playing. What the hell, YouTube? Okay, so let you guys know, Kelly Pavlik was here, former middleweight champion. And I actually pulled him aside and we talked for a minute. And well, Tiffany's working on chopping that up right now. And she's gonna be uploading that to the channel. So an interview with Kelly Pavlik. We talked about this fight. We talked a little bit about his career and powerlifting, all kinds of stuff that he's gotten into. So anyway, Fleener asked, what do I think Michael Conlan's ceiling is? You know, I'm not 100% sold on Michael Conlan, but I'll say this. I wasn't 100% sold on Shakur Stevenson at first, but he's getting better as he goes. He's actually really surprised me and impressed me in recent fights. So I think sometimes with some of these prospects, we judge a little too quickly. So with Michael Conlan, he's still a prospect, good-looking prospect. There are some things he needs to sharpen up, but I think he's going to win titles. I think Shakur Stevenson will too. Do I see them as pound-for-pound level guys one day? No, I don't see that. Okay, I've been interviewing people, talking to people. Sorry, guys, I'm losing my voice here. I just wanted to finally get my official prediction because I've been, you know, delaying all week. You know, it's funny, I was talking to Kelly Pavlik. I could not get him to make a pick because he kept saying he was 50-50, and he's really good with his fight picks. He's usually pretty spot on, and he's like, I'm 50-50. I cannot choose. And I tried to push him a little bit. You'll see in the interview, he would not bend. 50-50. Look at chubby. Dude, that's just the angles. I'm not looking chubby. I don't want to hear that. Check out the gun show right here. All right. Check this out. That's not chubby. That is not chubby. It's the lighting right here, okay? It's bad lighting. I don't care about that. What is the atmosphere? Stephen Wade asked, the atmosphere in Dallas right now. You know, the atmosphere here at the the stadium, was actually really, really live. And surprisingly, ERROL Spence got booed a lot by the crowd here. There was a lot of Mexican-American fans from right here in Texas, mostly cheering for Mikey. It was a pro-Mikey house. So tomorrow, you know, I've been thinking, man, it's going to be like 60-40, Joe, making Mike insecure about his figure. Yeah, man, you're making me insecure. I'm going to go cry. I think it's going to be a pro Mikey Garcia house tomorrow, and not 60-40. I think, man, it's going to be like 75-25. It's going to be more Mexican-American Mikey Garcia fans than ERROL Spence fans. And I did not expect that. Rockstar, so vain. Yeah. If I was vain, I wouldn't shoot this video with the horrible lighting, making my face look all crazy with bags under my eyes. Horrible, I wouldn't do that. If I was vain, I would go to where it's perfect lighting and shoot there, okay? So there. What I'm doing is the antithesis of vain. This video is making me look like a freaking zombie, and I'm still doing it for you guys. Also, I'm doing it in here so I don't get a copyright, because I wanted to do it, man. There's an awesome view out there, and that huge Jumbotron they got. I was gonna shoot it with that in the background, but of course, the second I go out there and I go to hit go live, they start playing music. The crew out there, which is getting everything set up for tomorrow, they put on music. So the last thing I need is copyright from YouTube again. It's bullshit. All right, enough delaying. So you guys already saw Mikey Garcia 145.5, which I think was smart for him to not come in at 147. ERROL Spence 146.25. He came in 3/4 of a pound under 147. That surprised me. That honestly surprised me. I was not expecting that. I thought he'd come in just at 147. And I haven't had a chance to look to see if he's weighed that light, if he routinely does that. But I wonder if he left it a little bit too much in the gym. I don't know. He did look a little dry. You know, he has looked dry all week. He's looked a little sunken in, but he's a big-ass welterweight. He's real big for that division. He will be at 154 pretty soon. Him and Derek James, who I talked to a little bit down there, by the way, Ring TV, we're going to post a video that Cynthia Conti interviewed Derek James and presented him. He finally got his Trainer of the Year award from 2017. He was going to get it before he got it, and someone stole it. So they had to make a new one, and we presented that to him today. Also, Cynthia Conti got an interview with Jayleon Love. All that will be posted on Ring TV's YouTube channel. Tiffany is chopping that up right now. So just to let you guys know, here on Montero Unboxing, you're going to get a Kelly Pavlik interview that we're going to upload. Over on Ring TV, you're going to get a weigh-in video that Tiffany did. You're also going to get interviews with Jayleon Love and with Derek James. So just to let you guys know, that is all coming. Okay. The final face-off. Let's see. Looking at the final face-off. Taryn Alexander says the weight cut decided. I couldn't see your whole comment. I'm sorry. Some people wrote Spence might hit 165. Hendrick. Yeah, I think Spence will clearly be 160. But I think the IBF rehydration rule is in effect. So actually, I don't think so. This is for the IBF title, and I think there's only going to be a 10-pound rehydration. I believe that's the way this works. I need to double check that. But as far as I know, the IBF rehydration rule is in effect. And that is something that helps Mikey Garcia a lot. Okay. I've been telling you guys, this fight's going the distance. I still feel that way. I still feel that this fight goes the distance. And everybody I talk to down there that knows the fight game. I talked to several former fighters down there. There were some trainers, other media guys. We were all just talking. You know, Mikey Garcia, he's not blazing fast with his feet. He's not blazing fast with his hands. He doesn't move his head really well. He's not this elite athlete, but he's an elite boxer. He does everything very good. Everything. I can't think of one thing Mikey Garcia does that's average. Everything is good. Really good. Maybe great. We'll find out. But he covers up very well. And I think that in spots when Spence does get him pinned against the ropes or something and tees off, I think Mikey's going to cover up well. If I were Spence, if I were Derek James and I was in Spence's corner, I would tell him to go to the body hard and often early in the fight. Pound the shit out of Mikey's body because Mikey's not the hardest guy in the world in the midsection. And to get him to drop that guard, because he does cover up, right? He covers up. To get him to drop that, pound the body early in the fight. Later in the fight, you could go upstairs and you could start catching shots like that he'd catch here. They'll start slipping off and landing on the side of the head. So as I mess up my hair here, that's what I think Spence should do. I think he will have some success. I still think it's going all 12. I think Mikey's going to cover up. I think he's going to survive. Also, Robert Garcia in that corner, right? The Garcia family, they're very, very proud. Very proud. I do not see a mercy stoppage from Robert Garcia. Possible the ref could stop it. By the way, I still don't know who the hell the ref is tomorrow night. Does anyone know? Because I was asking around, we still don't know who the hell the ref is. B-Boy Evan, what's up? What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Yeah, if you guys know who the ref is, I don't know who the damn ref is. Nobody told us down here. So, and I looked this morning, and Hamed, don't joke with me. It better not be no damn Lawrence Cole. It better not be. Really nice guy, just not the best ref. So anyway, it's going 12. And I still think that. That's my bold prediction, okay? But business of boxing. We're in Texas. Who has the better future for Team PBC? Errol Spence is the guy. Hamed, you almost had me there, brother, with that Lawrence Cole shit. Because, you know, Texas might just do that. Might just do that. I think Errol Spence is going to win by decision tomorrow night. That's my official prediction. I delayed it for almost 10 minutes. Almost 10 minutes. But that's my official prediction. I think tomorrow night, Errol Spence wins a decision. And I think it is absolutely possible that he can bulldoze Mikey Garcia, use his physicality. That's what everybody expects, right? That's not necessarily going to prove he's great, though. I talked about this in my preview that I posted from TNC earlier this week. This is a big man versus small man, right? A good big man beats a good small man. Well, what if Mikey Garcia is great? A great small man beats a good big man. But what if Errol Spence is great? How can he prove his greatness tomorrow night? Here's how. If he outboxes, outcrafts, outskills Mikey Garcia tomorrow night, that will impress me way more than him just mowing down a smaller guy and knocking him out in 6-7 rounds like a lot of you guys out there think he's going to do. If that happens, that's what most of the public thinks is going to happen. It's not going to improve his standing in the welterweight division or even on the pound-for-pound list. I don't think so. But if Errol Spence actually outboxes Mikey Garcia, looks craftier, has the better skills, has better boxing knowledge, we see Mikey Garcia making adjustments, and then we see Errol Spence making counter adjustments. And he is able to play chess at a higher level than Mikey Garcia and outpoint him in 12 rounds. That will be impressive. That, to me, is how Errol Spence can prove his greatness against a guy that he's quote-unquote supposed to beat, against a smaller guy. He can still prove his greatness tomorrow night, and that's how he does it. Now, for Mikey Garcia, if he wins tomorrow night and he thoroughly outboxes, he has to outbox Errol Spence to win tomorrow night. He's not going to knock him out. But if he outboxes the bigger, stronger, younger guy who's favored to win in his backyard, even though it might not feel like his backyard in that stadium tomorrow night, it is technically his backyard. If Mikey Garcia does that, he proves he's great. So both men have an opportunity to prove they're not just good, not just very good, but great tomorrow night. Regardless of the outcome, that's what I hope we see. I hope we see one of these guys prove they're great. Anthony, my brother, he says he's got Spence by 10th round stoppage. That's what a lot of people feel, man. A lot of people that I talked to down there earlier, that's how they feel. They feel that it's going to go more rounds than people expect, and they think that Spence by KO late in the fight. But I'm telling you, what if it goes to the cards? And I still think it will. But what if it goes to the cards and Errol Spence wins a wide points decision? Are any of you guys out there expecting that? What if Spence won 118-110 tomorrow night? Nobody is calling that. I didn't talk to one person out there that predicted that. It's either Spence by stoppage, Garcia by decision, or possible split decision, draw. No one's predicting that. If Spence outboxes and outcrafts, I'm going to say it for the 15th time here, Mikey Garcia tomorrow night, he has proven his greatness. And he is a pound-for-pound top 3 maybe fighter. Absolutely at that point. He's in that discussion, and he's the top guy at welterweight. Because I don't care about the size difference. Let me go back to a fight that a lot of you get triggered about, and it's very polarizing. But when Vasily Lomachenko beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, people that don't like Lomachenko said it was because of the weight difference. But if you really dissect that fight and look at it, Vasily Lomachenko outcrafted, outboxed, outwilled, outskilled, out-everythinged Guillermo Rigondeaux. It had nothing to do with size. Was the size an advantage? Yes, it was an advantage for Lomachenko. But look at how he won. He made Guillermo Rigondeaux quit. Rigo had a bruised knuckle. He claimed he was injured, quit on a stool. Lomachenko made him quit because he was doing everything better. And Rigondeaux knew it. So he looked for a way out, because that's ultimately we found out what Rigondeaux's made of and his mentality. Nobody sees him as a pound-for-pound guy after that fight. So it's amazing. He was top 5 pound-for-pound on many pound-for-pound lists, and then all of a sudden he's gone. He's just off the pound-for-pound list. Why? What happened? Lomachenko did everything better. What if we see Errol Spence do that tomorrow night? Some people who may not like Errol Spence, they'll say, well, it's because he was bigger. Man, if he outcrafts Mikey Garcia, if he Lomachenkos Mikey Garcia, I think that proves he's great. I think that proves he's one of the greatest fighters in the world. If he brutally, savagely stops and beats up a smaller fighter in a very close points kind of fight, that might actually hurt his brand to a degree. Think about it. He's supposed to beat the hell out of this guy and stop him, right? That's what so many people think. If he's down on the cards, let's say 4 rounds to 3, and then he stops Mikey Garcia, a lot of people are going to say, damn, dude, you were losing this fight. He was losing against Kell Brook before he came back from behind and stopped him, right? So he's in a tough spot. Errol Spence not only has to win, he has to win impressively. But the reason why I'm taking Spence by close decision, it's 2 reasons, okay? 2 reasons. As I drink my water. Okay, first reason. Everything I just said about everyone thinks Errol Spence is going to win. Everyone thinks that Errol Spence is the guy. I do think judges, poor judges, curve on the grading scale sometimes. And I think that if Mikey Garcia is competitive and he's in a close round, there are some judges that are going to look at that and say, man, he's doing better than I thought he would do, and give him the round. We see that too often in boxing these days, right? I don't think all 3 judges are going to do that, but one of them might, 2 of them might. So I think that perhaps some rounds will go to Mikey, and it will make some close rounds, plus the crowd influence. Everyone's going to be cheering for Mikey anytime he lands anything. That influence might have a couple of judges scoring it really, really tight. And then one judge might have it really wide for Spence because he just favors what Spence does and how he looks. So I think it's very, very possible that we get scores that are kind of all over the place, and that's kind of what I predict. I predict Errol Spence wins this fight by decision, and one judge has him kind of clearly ahead, 8 rounds to 4, something like that. The other 2 judges have it very close, 7 rounds to 5. Maybe one judge has it a draw. So Errol Spence wins by majority decision or something like that. Or split decision. The second reason I say this, guys, look at all the fights recently, particularly PBC fights. And I'm not saying it as it's not on purpose. It's just the way these things have happened because of the type of matchmaking that they've had. You look at Wilder Fury. You look at what we just saw last week with Porter Ugas, right? A lot of people didn't agree with the decision. There's several of them that I could point to in the last year or so that were very, very close. Even if you look at, let's look at the Golden Boy fight, Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. Now those were in Vegas, but close decisions, debatable decisions. A lot of these big matchups, regardless of promoter, here in the United States, in recent years, they've been close. There's been a lot of draws. I wouldn't even rule out a draw tomorrow night. But I still think one judge might have this really, really razor close, or a draw, and one judge might have this a clear points win for Spence. I think the scoring is going to be all over the place. I don't think it's going to be in lockstep. I think there's going to be controversy. I think that there are a lot of fans out there that are going to say, man, fuck that. Garcia won. Garcia should have got it, right? There's going to be people bitching. It's going to sound just like the Porter-Ugas fight that we just saw in Carson, California, where I thought a draw was just. I was cool with the draw. I thought maybe Porter was a little busier and may have eked it out, but I could understand why some people thought Ugas won. There's some people out there who had Ugas winning 8 rounds to 4, and there are some people out there who had Porter winning 8 rounds to 4. I think that's what we're going to see tomorrow night here. I think it's going to be a close, debatable decision, but I think Errol Spence is going to get the nod. He's going to win by very, very close, split, possibly majority decision. That's what I think is going to happen tomorrow night based on everything I've seen, based on what I've seen from both guys. I do think that there's going to be rust in the early rounds that Garcia will take advantage of. I think that it could look a lot like the fight between Spence and Kell Brook, except Kell Brook was coming down 2 weight classes and his face was literally smashed by Gennady Golovkin. Garcia's been active. He got 24 good rounds in last year. Took some shots in that Lipinets fight, but boxed beautifully in the Easter fight. For Spence, he's boxed 1 round since last summer. 1 round against Carlos Ocampo. So there's going to be some rust early on, and that's going to help Garcia win some early rounds. Then the crowd gets into it. Then the judges start thinking, and then we get a close, controversial decision, but boxing politics will have its way, and I predict Errol Spence ekes out a close one tomorrow night. So, let me know what you guys think. Am I anywhere near close or no? Errol Spence, or Adelaide Bird better not be a judge. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Cody says I'm way off. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Barrios. My friend Michael Barrios, I got to talk about him for a second. He's on here watching. What's up, man? I feel so bad. So Michael Barrios made the unfortunate decision to buy a flight out here from LA on Southwest Airlines. So you guys, you know, I'm sure you've heard what's up with Southwest Airlines. So he got literally fucked. Could not get him a replacement flight. He bought a ticket to the fight. Him and his friends got a room here to stay here in Dallas. And now they're just shit out of luck. They can't get out here. So he's got a ticket to the fight and everything, but because Southwest sucks and they bought planes that like to smash into the ground and they've just, cut a lot of their flights, he's screwed. Let me tell you, there's several media guys that were supposed to get here Wednesday, Thursday, that just got here today because they flew Southwest. So I'm glad I don't own Southwest stock right now because it's probably in the freaking tank. All right, I'm just looking at comments here, guys. A lot of you have Spence, and Spence by murder. A lot of you guys say Spence by murder. Mikey's too small. RIP Mikey. Yeah, I mean, look, you guys, I would say that is the majority opinion. That is the majority view, that Spence is just going to murk him. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be competitive. He is not going to plow through Mikey Garcia. If he did, would it impress me? To a degree. But as I said earlier, what would impress me a lot more is if he completely outboxes and outskills Mikey Garcia. If he Lomachenko's him, that to me would be something that puts him in a discussion as the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. Edgar Valdez says politics will make it a draw for more money. Hey, I wouldn't rule it out, man. I would not rule out a draw or any of that. I wouldn't rule out any damn possibility. The only thing I don't see is Mikey Garcia stopping Errol Spence. If he does that, he is pound for pound the best fighter in the world, and there's no debate. But look, I'll be honest with you guys. I was going to go with Garcia by decision. I was. And I was thinking about it all week. But I've just been chopping things up in my head. And I just think that Errol Spence is going to do enough work that is going to impress two of the judges enough to win the decision. But I do think it's going to be close. Two of the judges will have it close and controversial. One might have it a draw. I'm telling you guys, it's not going to be this clear-cut beatdown. It's going to be somewhat controversial. Did Mikey make weight? Paulo asks. Yes, Mikey was 145 and a half. Spence was 146 and a quarter. So here's another thing, okay? A little inside information. Mikey Garcia is getting a shitload of money for this fight. He is getting the lion's share of the behind-the-scenes money. Whatever they report to the commission, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the under-the-table Uncle Al money. He's getting taken care of. This is an insurance policy for him, and it's a brand-building thing for him later in his career. It's really win-win for Garcia, unless he gets blown out in 2 rounds. But I just think that this is a way for him to keep things in-house at PBC, and for them to build up Errol Spence. I think he's going to get the decision tomorrow night. Jose Nunez says Mikey beats Errol 11th round knockout. That would be huge, Jose. If Mikey does that, he's in the discussion, pound for pound, best in the world. However, we're not really going to know until we see everything tomorrow night. Because here's the bottom line, guys. I talked about this in my breakdown. Errol Spence, great win against Kell Brook. Great win against Lamont Peterson. But as I've said before, when you start breaking those wins down, man, Brook had been destroyed by Gennady Golovkin, literally broke his face. He had to drop 13 pounds to fight against Spence, and he was winning that fight after 6 rounds. He was ahead 4 rounds to 2, I think, halfway through, and then Spence's physicality took over. So there's some gray area with that win, man. There's a little asterisk, right? And then with Lamont Peterson, hasn't been the same since he got busted with performance-enhancing drugs, since he pissed dirty. And he's been so inactive and so inconsistent in the last few years. So that win's a little asterisk. At the same time, man, you could say the same thing for some of Mikey Garcia's wins. He hasn't fought an elite level guy yet himself. Neither guy, to me, has a signature win on their resume where they've beaten a pound for pound, or not even pound for pound, a top A-level fighter in their absolute prime. Both of them are doing that tomorrow night. This is going to be the first time both guys are fighting a really good fighter, elite level fighter, in their physical prime, at their physical best. First time. So that's why I say tomorrow night, we're going to find out which dude's great. We're going to find out, are both these guys just good? Was one of them great? And as I've chopped it up all week, maybe I'm just being pessimistic. I think both guys are really good. I don't know if either guy's great. Based on everything I've seen, both guys are really, really good. Neither one of them's great. And because of that, we're going to get a close points win for ERROL Spence. That's what I see. Let's see. Jay Kane, you forgot Kell Brook was an elite level fighter that ERROL Spence faced. Yes, but I just explained. I don't know, maybe you didn't hear that. I'll say it really quickly again. I don't want to repeat myself too much. But Kell Brook coming down 2 weight classes, coming off orbital bone, facial reconstructive surgery. Clearly not the same guy. The same guy that Gennady Golovkin beat. The same Kell Brook that beat Sean Porter and beat him fairly decisively. That's not the guy ERROL Spence fought. So this level of fighter, fighting Mikey Garcia, even though he's a smaller guy, this is going to be the best opponent ERROL Spence has ever fought. And for Mikey Garcia, who's had a lot of selective matchmaking since he left Top Rank and hasn't fought very good guys, he's fought some quality guys. I think Sergey Lipinets is a good quality fighter. I think Robert Easter, a good quality fighter. But nobody elite, nobody like ERROL Spence. This is going to be his best opponent, right? Antonio Maes says, I think Mikey will surprise. I think he's going to surprise too. I think he's going to surprise by going the distance, JM Superstar, regardless of the result, Michael, do you think the fight will be exciting? It's not going to be a barn burner. It's not going to be, look, Mikey Garcia doesn't fight that style. Mikey Garcia is very fundamentally sound, moves in straight lines, but gives angles, right? He does give angles. He's going to give ERROL Spence angles, give him something to think about, but he doesn't fight a brawling, quote-unquote, Mexican-style kind of fight. ERROL Spence can brawl, but he prefers to box. He's actually an underrated, skilled, crafty boxer. There have been times where he's blown guys out and everything, but how often has he done that? And, we talk about his 2 greatest fights against a damaged Kell Brook and a Lamont Peterson, who I don't put anywhere near the same level as a Mikey Garcia, particularly when he fought them. It's not like he went in there and just blew those guys out in 2 rounds or something. So I don't see this crazy, exciting fight that's just nonstop 2-way action. What I see is 2 skilled guys trying to outskill each other. That's what I see happening. So you're going to have lulls in this fight, and then little bursts of activity. I do think, though, the second half of the fight is going to heat up, particularly because I believe it's going the distance. If the fight's tight and the cards are tight, and both corners feel that they need to make a push late, I think that it's going to get more and more exciting. And that's the way it should be, man. There should be a crescendo towards the end, right? That's the way a good fight should go. But I just got this gut feeling that neither one of these guys is really, really great. They're both really good. So good big man gets the decision over a good little man, but good little man does better than expected. And the action is a little bit lackluster compared to what some people are expecting. And this thing goes the distance. So that's what I see. Matthew asked, do I think Spence will respect Mikey's power? I don't think he's going to respect his power in the sense that he's like, oh man, I got to be careful, I might get hurt. But he's going to respect the power enough to say, okay, I can't just walk in. I got to work my way in. I got to work behind the jab. I got to move a little bit. I got to think a little bit. I need to make some adjustments. It's going to be enough to stop him in his tracks and force him to readjust at times. And Spence has never had to do that. There were spots where Brook was able to do that to him, and he looked a little confused early on. He kept coming, but I just think, man, Garcia throws such straight punches. I think early in this fight, there's going to be a right hand that comes down, or even a jab, a countered jab that comes down that hits Spence, and he goes, oh shit, okay. All right, you know, I felt that. Not that it hurts him at all. Garcia can't hurt Spence, but he's going to have to think. He's going to, oh damn, all right, let me change my angle. Let me change my rhythm here. Let me do something different, because he sees this. I got to try something different because he sees what I'm doing here. He sees it coming. And I think that's when you're going to start having that chest that I talk about. So I do think it's going the distance. I'm going to stick by that. And perhaps I'll be proven wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. But guys, I can't sit here and always pick, you know, the favorite or the popular opinion. You know, you guys sit here and you watch my channel because you expect me to give you my honest opinion, my honest viewpoint. And that's what my honest viewpoint is. So that's it, man. All right, I've gone half an hour here. I got to go get an article out to Ring Mag or to Ring TV and finish chopping up these videos and articles and stuff. But just a reminder, guys, Southpaw Says love my channel. Thanks, man. Thank you very, very much. Please tune in later where I have an interview with Kelly Pavlik where he gives his thoughts. Mike Faz NYC says I'm way wrong. Okay, cool. We'll find out, right? We'll see. If I am right, you better come back tomorrow and talk that same shit and see how confident you feel. Because a lot of you guys who say I'm wrong, you never show up when I'm right. You only show up and brag the 10% of the time I'm wrong. You don't show up the 90% of the time I'm right. Anyway, interview with Kelly Pavlik. He's going to give his thoughts on the fight tomorrow night. So make sure you guys look for that. That should be posted up in a couple hours, all right? All right, guys. I'll see you at the fights tomorrow night.